Today we're going to look at Soundcore's brand new Space series, designed with a focus on noise cancelling and ultra-long battery life. And actually, we might just have new market leaders here. They're launching two new products, the Space A40 earbuds and the Q45 over-ear headphones. So there are two different styles depending on how you'd like to listen, and we're going to cover all of the specs and features of both. The Q45s are essentially a successor to the Life Q35 headphones, so I'm going to talk about how the 45s improve on those, and whether an upgrade is worth it from both the Q30 and 35s. There's no obvious predecessor for the A40 earbuds, and you'll see in this review how these are a new option in the Soundcore lineup, but I'll draw some comparisons to some of their best earbuds to give you some context. Soundcore has a great lineup of audio products now, but these two might be the easiest to recommend yet. In the box, the A40s come with the earbuds and charging case, the usual paperwork, a USB-C charging cable, and 5 different sizes of ear tips, so we get a lot of choice here. The Q45s have essentially the same carry case from before, now just with a soft touch matte finish as opposed to the 35's fabric texture. Inside you'll find the headphones, usual paperwork, and the USB-C charging and aux cables. Interestingly, the aux cable does not include an inline mic like the previous model, and there's no aeroplane adapter here either. The cable allows for wired listening, including when the battery is empty, but the loss of the inline mic is disappointing, especially since I haven't been able to use the built-in mic when using the 45's wired, so it may be for wireless use only. The A40's charging case is surprisingly small and compact, one of the smallest I've seen from Soundcore actually, which helps with portability. It has a nice matte texture finish and a little bit more weight to it than you might expect to add a sense of premium quality. The design is sleek and minimal, but the case comes with a nicely weighted lid, LED indicators at the front, and next to the USB-C charging port, a dedicated pairing button. The earbuds themselves are in turn equally sleek, minimal, and very small. In fact, these are Soundcore's smallest and lightest ANC earbuds, which is essentially their USP. The glossy plastic matches the interior of the case, and does detract slightly from the otherwise premium-looking finish. It doesn't quite match the build quality of their flagship Liberty 3 Pro, for instance, but the smaller size is certainly welcome. As for the Q45s, these have a decidedly more premium and elegant-looking finish than Soundcore's previous entries, from the matte exterior texture to the refined shape to the aluminium hinges. This black colour in particular is lovely, and these are some of the nicest ANC headphones I've seen. Again, this is a sleek and minimal design, but the glossy ring surrounding each ear cup complements the reflective Soundcore logo and space branding to add a touch of luxury over the 35s. The ear cups still rotate, pivot, and fold down with the same flexibility as the previous model, but there's no audible creaking in the headband now, which is good to see. Two notable changes are with the ear cups and the headband. The 45's larger ear cups are much more spacious and allow your ears to breathe more, which is a big improvement. The new material on the ear cushions is far softer too, but one downgrade is the significantly reduced padding on the headband, which I find an especially strange decision given that the 45s are now heavier than the 35s. You can certainly feel that extra weight, and I think the clamping force is slightly tighter too. I was still able to wear these for hours at a time, and the softer, more spacious ear cups certainly help with this, but I noticed some soreness around my ears and at the crown of my head after around 5 or 6 hours, so it's a trade-off and the overall comfort is roughly the same as last year. The A40 earbuds are the way to go for a truly lightweight and comfortable design, and these offer all-day comfort. The ergonomics are excellent thanks to a great shape design and their small size, and they don't stick out much from my ears at all. There's an ear tip fit test in the app to ensure you're getting a secure acoustic seal, so that can help you find the right ear tip size and earbud position. Despite not having any wingtips, I found the fit surprisingly secure, so these were a decent option for workouts as well. They come with an IPX4 rating for protection against sweat and light splashes, which is an important thing missing from the Q45 headphones. The A40s use touch controls, which are responsive and very easy to use, though there is a bit of a delay, especially with the tap and hold function. The Soundcore app gives you good customization, including for volume control, but sadly there's no wearing detection here. That's also true of the Q45s, even though this was available for the Q35s, so that was a surprising downgrade. The 45s also lose out on the touch transparency feature, where you could cover the right ear cup to quickly activate transparency mode. The 45s improve slightly on the button controls though, by combining the volume keys into one button you press at either end, so now distinguishing between buttons is easier than on the 35s. The control mapping is the same as before, but you're now able to choose which ambient sound mode the button cycles between, and you can also set a double press to activate bass up mode, so you've got a quick access toggle to switch the EQ. For connectivity, we get Bluetooth 5.2 for the A40s and the new 5.3 for the Q45s. They both support SBC, AAC and LDAC, so they each offer a high-res codec, and actually the stability with LDAC was pretty good with both of them. In terms of latency, both were fine for watching movies, but for gaming, I wouldn't recommend them. The Q45s have a noticeable lag, just like the 35s, so they're still not good for gaming. The A40s, however, get a dedicated game mode, which does noticeably improve things. It's still not perfect, but it does make games like fast-paced shooters more playable, and I also noticed that the latency is lower with iOS devices than Android. One small connectivity downgrade from the 35s is the removal of NFC, so you can no longer tap your phone to the ear cup for instant pairing, which is a shame. The A40 and Q45 both get multipoint though, so you can connect to two devices at the same time, and the feature works really well. Setup is very easy, with a double press on the power button initiating pairing mode for the second device, and this doesn't interrupt your connection with the first device as it does this, which is cool. One thing to point out though is that using LDAC disables the multipoint feature and vice versa, even though you could use both together with the Q35s. You can manage your devices in the Soundcore app, which has undergone a cosmetic touch-up. It looks great and remains very intuitive and user-friendly. The only other new feature to highlight here is the Q45's Safe Volume. This will display your music's current volume level, and if you like you can apply a volume limiter to protect your hearing. So this is a nice safety feature you can use, and even if you don't, it's actually really interesting seeing the decibel reading for your music in real time, and has certainly made me more aware of my listening habits. But let's talk about the Space Series' signature features, starting with the battery life, which might just be industry leading for both the earbuds and the headphones. You get 10 hours of playtime from the A40s and a huge 50 hours in total with the case. Even dropping down to 8 hours with ANC turned on, this is still very impressive. You can also get 4 hours of playback from a 10-minute fast charge, plus the case supports wireless charging too for extra convenience. The Q45s on the other hand offer 65 hours of playback and still give 50 hours with ANC turned on. Battery life was a strength of the Q35s before, but these numbers are just insane. I mean, for context, Sony's WH-1000XM5 provide 30 hours with ANC. The Q45s also offer fast charging and give 4 hours of playback after just a 5-minute fast charge. You're now able to control the auto power off time for the earbuds and headphones as well, one of the features I personally requested in my Q35 review, so that's good to see. So overall, the battery is a major strength for the Space series, not just compared to other Soundcore products, but the rest of the competition too. The second major feature of the Space series is improved active noise cancellation, and this is the best I've tested for Soundcore products too, both the earbuds and the headphones. For such small earbuds, the ANC produced by the A40s is very impressive, particularly for the low-end frequencies where the performance rivals the market leaders. It's not as effective with other frequencies like voices, and this is where some of the rivals have an advantage. I tested these against all of Soundcore's ANC earbuds though, and was surprised to find that their smallest ANC earbuds are indeed their most effective. A lot of the legwork is done passively with a tight seal in the ear, but turning on ANC further quietens your surroundings in a noticeable way. You can manually select low, medium or high strength for noise cancellation, or you can have the earbuds automatically adjust the ANC level based on the noise in your surroundings with adaptive mode. This handy new feature will ramp down the ANC when it's not needed, and the reduced pressure gives a more comfortable experience. The Q45 headphones get adaptive ANC as well, plus the manual control is a little bit more intuitive and customizable with a range of 5 different levels for ANC. I personally find this much easier to use than the somewhat confusing transport, indoor and outdoor modes from the previous model. Generally, the over-ear headphones provide a stronger noise cancelling effect, but that's to be expected, and like the earbuds they block out a lot of sound passively even without using ANC. What's more useful to know is that they significantly improve on the Q35's ANC performance, especially with the lower frequencies. Again, this isn't Sony level noise cancellation, but it is very effective, a noticeable step up from the previous model, and a clear advantage for the new Space series. Certainly factoring in the price, the noise cancelling performance is fantastic. Both models come with a wind noise reduction toggle as well, which could be useful, though from my testing I couldn't hear a significant difference when using it. The transparency mode returns from previous models and is once again very effective, allowing you to clearly hear your surroundings. The A40s get the familiar fully transparent and vocal modes, the latter of which tries to specifically amplify voices while suppressing other frequencies. But the Q45 headphones give you more customization, again allowing you to select a strength across 5 levels, so that's a nice upgrade over the 35s. My one criticism with the 45's transparency mode is the audible static noise. It's a faint electronic sound that you don't hear with music playing, but it only affects the 45s and only in transparency mode, so hopefully that's something that can be fixed with a software update. Still, the new products seem to be living up to Soundcore's claims for the Space series. The noise cancellation is smarter, with adaptive mode, more customizable, and much more effective. The new mics don't just help out with ANC, but the call quality as well. There are 6 mics in total on the A40s, which you're hearing now, and an AI algorithm which identifies your voice and blocks out other noises. The performance was surprisingly good. They do a really good job of minimizing background noise, and my voice came through relatively loud and clear.
I'll switch over to AirPods Pro now just to give you a sense of context, since these are generally considered to be good for calls. And I found that my voice was clearer and much more isolated with Soundcore's A40s. The background noise was quieter too, so in general, they're a good option for phone calls.
Moving on to the Q45 headphones, surprisingly, these weren't quite as good as the A40 earbuds, but they also do a decent job with minimizing background noise on a call. They have 4 mics in total and the AI algorithm to pick up your voice only, and they sounded pretty good for phone calls. Switching over to the Q35s now, hopefully you can hear how the 45s are an improvement from these. My voice is less treble and isn't as clear, plus the background noise is a bit louder as well. So overall, there's a nice upgrade for phone calls with the Q45s. Moving on to sound quality, I should first say that the A40s get Soundcore's latest generation of Hear ID, which tests your hearing and then optimizes a unique sound profile based on the results. What's nice is that you can combine Hear ID with your favorite EQ. So Hear ID can account for those frequencies you struggle to hear, but you can still tune the earbuds to a style that you personally enjoy. There are lots of great preset EQs to choose from, and once again you can set multiple custom EQs instead if you prefer. The A40s use 10mm double-layer diaphragm drivers, the first earbuds to do so, which is described as offering strong bass, clear mids, and bright treble. Balance is certainly something that stood out to me as being a major strength of these. No frequencies feel overpowered, and there's no harsh or piercing sibilance either. The result is a clear, relaxing tone that doesn't need much equalizing to sound good. These don't have the same level of depth, thumping bass, or crisp highs as Soundcore's Pro earbuds from the Liberty series. But certainly for the price these sound awesome, and would comfortably make it into my top 10 earbuds under $100 video. Like the headphones, they also have LDAC for high-res sound, and they can get very loud too. The Q45s use the double-layer diaphragm tech as well, and essentially the sound is like the A40s, but on a much larger scale. They use 40mm drivers just like the 35s, but there is a distinctive difference in the sound quality. The 45s are much more balanced, and not as bass-heavy as the 35s. There's slightly more clarity, and the highs sound more crisp, although the bass doesn't quite thump as hard either. You can increase this on the 45s with the bass up mode or an EQ, and what's nice is that the double press control will switch between bass up and your own custom EQ. It doesn't just switch back to the default profile. So if you like bass, then you may want to stick with the 35s, but overall I'd definitely say that the 45s are an upgrade in terms of sound quality. There's one improvement though that for me is an absolute deal breaker, and that's that the 45s fix the left-right imbalance issue. With the 35s, listening in normal or ambient mode would cause the left ear cup to play at a higher volume than the right. It was only balanced in ANC mode. It made it difficult to recommend them fully over the Q30s, despite the various upgrades, and software updates never seem to fix it either. With the Q45s, you do get a small EQ shift when changing the listening modes, but the volume balance is now even no matter which mode you're using, so I'm really pleased about that. One other thing to mention is sound leakage, which is noticeably reduced with the Q45s. There's something about the new ear cups that means less sound escapes from them, so that's good as well. The Soundcore Space A40s enter the market at $99.99 and will be available in black, white and navy, whilst the Q45 headphones will be $149.99 with the other colour options coming later this year, so that's a $20 increase from the 35s. For me, this makes the A40s extremely easy to recommend, the easiest to recommend of the entire Soundcore lineup in fact, because they're such great all-rounders. The battery life and noise cancelling performance is the best they have to offer, they're super comfortable, and the call and sound quality is great. If you're looking for that audiophile level sound quality, then the Pro earbuds are still worth considering, and some of the flagship market leaders do come with a few more bells and whistles. But the overall value for money is better with the A40s, and these are some of the best earbuds you can get for under $100. With the Q45s it's a little bit more tricky since you've got the Q35s to consider. The Q45s have a gorgeous new design and are certainly the better all-round headphones. But if you look at the changes side by side, you'll see that the improvements are quite subtle, and actually the 45s miss out on some cool features like wearing detection, touch transparency, and the inline mic cable. So normally I'd tell you that the 35s still offer better value for money, especially since you'll likely find them discounted now. But having experienced that issue with the left and right side volume imbalance, a problem that seems to be fairly widespread too, I would have to recommend getting the Q45s instead. That alone is the deal breaker for me, whilst the improvements to the design, the battery life and the sound quality are just nice added extras. If you have a pair of Q30 or 35s already, and you didn't experience this issue, then I'm not sure there's anything that would force you to upgrade. If you're looking for a new pair of ANC headphones though, you should definitely consider the Space Q45. Looking at the types of headphones these are competing against, you'll see that these massively undercut them for price, but in many areas the performance matches them and even beats them for certain specs like battery life. Considering value for money, the Q45s are some of the best ANC headphones you can get, and having fixed the Q35's issues, Soundcore's Space series is a lineup I can wholeheartedly recommend. But let me know in the comments what you think about the Space series. I did a lot of behind the scenes testing and comparisons with other earbuds, not just in Soundcore's lineup, but with the competitors too, so do leave any questions you have down in the comments section. Give this video a like if you found it helpful, subscribe to see more content like this, and hit the notification bell so you stay up to date with everything on the channel. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.